And she knows that, and she knows we can always turn. And I don't know what to say. She knows we can always turn. Somebody say I've been saying trying to endure the pain, knowing that at the end there's not a thing today. But still I play the game. Man, hoping that she could change just to relieve the pain, but she refused to change, so all the pain remains. There's too much of the same thing. The street light shines on the street sign, so we can find our way. So why can't we shine when we're going down? So we can find our way. I can't just walk away. I can't just walk away. I can't just walk away. And she knows this, and it shows within her ways, her ways. And I don't know what to say, regardless of what she says. Shows within her ways, her ways. I like to enjoy my life, but all the joys of life seem to just pass me by. Could this be why I cry myself to sleep at night? I feel like I listen and she has the upper hand. People can't understand how I can live my life embedded in the sky. Why the street light shines on the street signs, so we can find our way. So why can't we shine if we're combined? So we can find out. I guess you know from you. I guess he knows why I'm still here. Yeah, you understand what you do. Refuse to make a move clear. Yeah, I can't just walk away. I can't just walk away. I can't just walk away. And she knows this, and it shows within her ways. And I don't know what to say, regardless of what she says. It shows within her ways. Yo, you ever feel like you're at constant conflict with yourself? Um, at that particular time when I wrote that song, Walk Away, I felt like that. And the more that I create is the more that I got to understand myself. I understand that you people only do to you what you allow them to do. You subject yourself and you set yourself up for whatever you face in life. And I think a lot of times we take the easy way out and we're not accountable for our actions or our involvement in whatever it is we're facing because the easiest thing to do is to just point a finger. And we're not accountable for what we do. And like I said, the more that I create, the more that I allow myself to become one with the spirit, and the more that I just lose myself within the spirit and just follow the spirit, the more enlightened I become. And I came to the realization that 99.9% of the problems that I face in life are self inflicted. I can't blame nobody for my foolishness because people only do what you allow them to do. If you get what I say. Yeah, you can point on a man and say, yo, the man there fuck rare, but you must see some type of red flag, some type of warning sign prior, or even if you didn't directly see it, indirectly you know that like, yo, if this person and that person were friends at one point, you never question like, why aren't they friends anymore? Or if it's relationship wise and you wonder why this person ran through so many men or so many women, you know, and you never question that because you felt within yourself that you can actually change the person. You try to see the good within the person, and you spend so much time trying to figure out and find out that person that ultimately you end up losing yourself. So that's just one part of being your own worst enemy. Because, like I said, most of the problems that we incur in life are self inflicted. And once you come to that realization, you start to assess things a little more and you move further from making excuses and you begin to make adjustments, the necessary adjustments. And sometimes the adjustments that you make don't involve or incorporate somebody else's happiness. But the reality of the situation is that you can't make everybody, you can't please everybody all the time. So you have to start to please yourself and walk within the spirit. You know? And it took many heartaches and many a confusing day and being on the receiving end of some abusive and narcissistic behavior for me to come to the realization that the love that you search for is within you. Because like even if you find what some people deem to be their soulmate, you have to first take into consideration that everything in life is temporary. So even if you find your soulmate and you solely rely on this person for your happiness, to receive love from, to give love to, and if they're taken away from you, then how do you go on with your life? So you can't ever be that reliant on any one specific individual, whether it be your children, whether it be your best friend, whether it be your husband, your girlfriend, your soulmate, or whoever. Because once again, you become your worst enemy if that person should leave in one way or another, whether it's beyond their control or whatever the case may be. So I think we're all attached to like the same grid of consciousness. But once we start to deviate from that grid of consciousness and start to engage more into what we learn, from an early age, whatever narrative is being pushed, whatever narrative has been pushed on our parents or who's ever appointed to raise us and rear us and teach us, and then whatever we're exposed to when we go out amongst our peers, or whatever we are subject to when we turn on the television, or as we just start to discover life and discover ourselves, we start to begin to believe that whatever the narrative is that's set is the way that we're supposed to be living. And we begin to lose ourselves in that. And once you start to move more to your subjective nature, which is your ego, you know what I mean? You begin to think that your way of thinking is the only way. And once you do that, then once again you become your own worst enemy, because you have to look at things from a wider spectrum and take other things into consideration, you know. And like I said, I begin to discover that a lot of the decisions that I made in life, you know, are a direct result of why I am where I am now in life. Not to say that, you know, I'm not I won't use the word content, because when you're content with something, it's like, okay, you're good and there's no room for growth. I'm blessed and I'm thankful for where I've been able to reach. I'm blessed and thankful for being able to identify the spirit and to walk with the spirit, and to understand that what my down what my shortcomings are in life, you know. And I can only encourage everybody, because, you know, I can't be judgmental, you know, because I was once where that person was. So for me to like try to discredit them or discount them or talk about them because they're unaware of, you know, what their purpose is in life, or unaware of what their defaults are in life, then, you know, I would be hypocritical, because at one particular time I wasn't aware or in touch with myself. You know, so this is not about um, me trying to incorporate everybody into what my own personal struggle is. Another reason, and if you can relate, you're free to comment, or if not, you can just all way out, all our take we are take from this. You know what I'm saying? But another way that we become our own worst enemy is by the company that we keep, by the fuckery that we encourage, or even if we don't encourage it, we turn a blind eye to it, or we enable people to do the things that they do without any kind of what's the word I'm looking for, pushback, or you know. So when you really look at how society is set up, and how you see people I live right now, or you know what I mean, like, you might think that if somebody dies over there violently or robbery or something like one, that even if you were nowhere around and you didn't have the gun, you didn't know the person who did it, you don't know how emotionally attached you are to that, because of the way that we live our lives. And I'm gonna explain that to you for some of the people who don't understand. Um, like I said, this series is about understanding being misunderstood. So a lot of people might be like, "Yo, what the fuck is he talking about?" You know what I mean? Or when I do on live or chat, or it's okay. I'm good with being misunderstood. Trust me. been misunderstood most of my life. But what I'm saying is how you directly are involved with what you see going on in society. A girl was raped and killed. I ran that story yesterday. Rest in peace to the young lady. There was a shooting that took place in Philadelphia that, a very high profile case. There's crime and all type of shit that takes place around us every single day. And some of us are very vocal about it, and it's either we point a finger upon the system, or we point a finger upon the perpetrator, or we point a finger sometimes even upon the victim. Well, if they didn't go to the dance, then them love too much dance, and that's why them. But and everything that you see transpiring around you, take a look in the mirror. How much fuck shit have you supported within your life, or promoted, or just stood by and just turned a blind eye to it? Think about it. How many rapists in your family? How many of your brethren you see a little girl and love off a little girl, and you know that little girl is too young for him, and you might just laugh it off or don't even say nothing. But you never took the time out to say, yo, I fuck with that, my youth. And I say, I want to little pitney that. How much time I say a man beat him woman, but through your brethren, you not say nothing to him about it. So why is it such a bad thing when a man where you don't know beat a woman and kill her, or beat somebody who you do know and kill them, and it's not a problem to you? But a person who you are around every single day can do that shit and you don't have a problem with it. I hear a lot of people say about the dance the other day. Yo, I stand up right there so I see when the security not even search the people, them and Ray and Tay. But you still went into the dance. Or you see it and you never bring it to somebody's attention, even the promoter, because probably him don't even know. Yo, the security might take money, because them not search the people them properly or whatever. Or like me say, you have a friend or a family member or somebody that you know who will keep up some fuck shit and you never speak on it. But you're the most vocal when a high profile story comes. No, I don't fuck with that, or when it comes to your own doorstep, that's when you want to be vocal about it. You associate yourself with people who doing crazy shit and you know it, or you have some inkling of the fact that, yo, that brother you now move right, but you will never speak on it. Then you're a part of the problem. You're a part of the problem. You're the biggest fucking hypocrite. Might as well you did take the gun and squeeze the trigger. Might as well you did hold down the girl while them a rape her. And at that point, and we're all guilty of it. We're all guilty of it. We all have a gunman friend. We all have a friend where I go on with some fuck. We all have a friend where we chat other people with you and you will listen. And you know look for them and say, yo, me no want to hear that, brethren. Because if them a chat somebody with you, trust me, them a chat you with somebody else. So I just feel like we as a people encourage too much fuckery. That's why certain things are reach. And you see, due to the fact that the bigger heads them know that they push a certain narrative that keeps us right where we are. So when you see a youth get killed, when you see a girl get raped, when you see somebody get robbed, when you see somebody get violated, we're all collectively a part of the problem. All of us. Every last one of us. So you can blame the system until a little more, but until you look into yourself to see what you can change, and even if it's just one person, even if you make a positive difference in one person's life, if you give one person a different way if you look past something, how much time you say something to somebody and or somebody says something to you and you might have thought one way at one particular time prior to when that person said to you what they said to you, or somebody came back to you and was like, yo, you know something, never look on it that way there. So the man will take up him gun for go kill a man. Or the man will look on a little pitney and say, boy, John, you know, with a beat it, you know. All if you never do it, if you speak on it right then and there, or if you lick out on it, or if you just cut him off, you might make a difference. You might can save a little girl from get raped. You might can save a youth from getting skull bust. You might can save a shop from get robbed. So self-accountability. We vote in the people them if we run the country or the district or wherever. You know what I mean? But we have to govern ourselves first before we point finger upon nobody. And some of the biggest problems we face as individuals, myself included, are the things that we turn a blind eye to. And hence we become our own worst enemy. I'm learning. And I think one of the greatest forms of wealth is enlightenment, and wisdom and knowledge. So, and I'm open to other people's views and perspectives because I can't just look on things one way. Because if my way was the only way, when time is dead and gone, it could go with me. So right now, it's like we're in an NA meeting then, and the person stand up and say, hey, I'm FICO settings and I've been clean for 3 years or whatever the case may be, and you get a little keychain them or whatever. That could be the first person to stand up and tell us, say, me is a part of the problem. When you see a go on in our world, I am my own worst enemy. And I'm learning every day to lessen the excuses that I make and replace them with adjustments. And my uncle can go on my advice, my foolish advice, to try to do the world will be a better. Bless. Fake us at it.